Greetings, Patrick here, IFC Midnights. We're back after a week hiatus. We are back. As you can see, the mighty Mary Wilson and Ben from the Cadaver Club, and of course myself, Patrick. We are here to talk IFC goodness. We do this show the last Sunday of every month. I know we're the first Sunday of every month today. This month. So we will be talking about 2011's Perfect Sets, which is a very interesting and very, very different movie than you might expect to see, based on the cover. This actually might be the most misrepresented movie by the cover I think I've ever seen.
You sure that's not X-Men? It's not X-Men. It's not Iron Man.
Before we get started, I just thought we'd take a couple of minutes and acknowledge our friend Sean, Sean Blue Digital. Hey Corey, how are you, sir? Sean Blue Digital, I think he was also known as Cinephile World Order. He passed away last week. Unexpectedly, and I just wanted to acknowledge his passing and to say that I did enjoy Sean. I mean, him and I were pretty good friends when I first came on the tube. Always thought-provoking conversation with him. He was very kind, very generous soul, and I just, sometimes things happen to good people, and that's what happened here. But I know that hopefully he's at peace, and I just want to let him know that I didn't forget any of his kindness, never. And I just hope he's at peace. And if you guys want to say a couple of words, by all means.
Yeah, I like Sean. I streamed with him a few times. We always had good conversations. Yeah, I remember when he first joined, sort of like started his channel, his brother just passed away, and he was having like a hard time with it. But he was like pretty open and vulnerable about it, which I thought was good. So it's pretty sad to hear that we lost him.
Yeah, he's like one of the horror family. He's been around here since I know of. Yeah, I liked his movie picks that he had, and he would have some digital code giveaways, and he put in for them. They were kind of fun. It's like
yeah, he was very generous. I mean, he would send a lot of people a lot of movies. I mean, unexpectedly, you'd be sitting there and go to your mailbox, and there would be a package from Sean. It was like, and then he wouldn't say anything. He'd just sit there and say, and then he might, then he might come to you privately and say, did it get there okay? And you're like, yeah, but this is like, this I didn't know it was even coming. And he didn't do it for the accolades. He just did it out of the kindness of his heart. And you're right. I think the loss of his brother, I think it really hurt. I think it really hurt him. I think it maybe even, and I'm just speaking from my own perspective, but I know that kind of pain can be destroying.
Mine died a year ago on New Year's Day. Yeah, and you never forget it. So yeah, it sits with you forever.
So
I know what he's going through for sure.
Well, his taste in movies was pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's where I got some picks from.
Yes, I do believe that. I do think, and I'm not being facetious here or anything, but I definitely think that he deserves to be a IFC Midnight. He should be he should be included in the club, because his taste in good movies was the same as ours. Excellent. And he I would talk to him a little bit about IFC movies too, in private conversations, and He thought it was so funny that I was so fanatical about it. He thought that he got a lot of humor out of that.
But you find surprises in the IFC movies.
Yeah, I'm like I said, when we pick our movies out, when you go look to see which movies we're going to talk about, I'm always surprised by what we get. We always get some of the really cool stuff, really good ones. And I like the idea quite a bit. I like the idea that we're going to be mixing up with the Shudder. I think that's cool. I got a new Shudder film, by the way. I got a new one. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun just talking about it, talking about those type of movies. Ben's last movie, Spring, wasn't IFC or Shudder, but it was top drawer. Definitely top drawer.
A24 or
no, I think it was Magnet, right?
Magnet.
Magnets are good.
Magnets are good. They are really underrated.
So that's the movie where you want to move to Italy.
Yeah.
Really, really underrated film for Magnet.
It's so nice there.
I got my copy of our movie that we'll be talking about here, Perfect Sense. I got this at Family Video, and I caught the cover. I looked at it, and I'm like, I said Ian McGregor and Eva Green. I like both of them. Of course, we know Ian McGregor as Obi-Wan, and Eva Green as Pick Your Choice. I think Casino Royale. I think it was. I think she was in Casino Royale.
That's the one. I thought she was in a 007.
I remember her. My first impression of Eva Green was The Golden Compass.
Oh, that's the one I haven't seen. You were telling me about that one.
So good. That movie's so good.
I only watched this movie once, though, so I'm gonna go. Okay, I remember.
Yeah, it was really interesting about that. It was almost like a reverse role, because most of the time, a lot of times Eva Green plays villainous. It's like she did the sequel to Sin City. She's done some other movies where she's been the evil dame, and in The Golden Compass, she was actually the heroine, and none other than Nicole Kidman, who up to that point had actually had played all good, pretty much good roles, good girl roles. It was my first time ever watching Nicole Kidman play a villainess. I was scared.
She was in a movie where she played a school teacher that was doing her students, I think. She was pretty evil in that one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about that. Yeah, well, she's just starting out. But Eva Green was, she's interesting. She's an interesting actress. So let's talk a little bit about Perfect Sense. So Perfect Sense came out, and I guess I will ask you guys your first impressions of the movie before we get into it.
Scary beginning. They're talking about all the shit that was going on, and she's working in the lab to get working on it. Anybody works in those labs during these pandemics, they're amazing.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I liked it. I felt like I liked it, but I felt like it was the pacing was it was kind of like a flat spot in the middle there for me. You know what I mean? But I thought the subject matter was interesting. I thought the concept was good. I thought the acting was good. Yeah, I felt like overall it was pretty thought-provoking for me. It really is sort of like also made me think back to lockdown and shit, It was which, I don't know people that really like actually talk about lockdown too much, but that was like the craziest shit I've ever lived through. You know what I mean? There's like, you had to like wait in line at the supermarket. It was just such a weird fucking time.
It almost seems like a dream.
Yeah, it was weird.
And then I got cancer in the middle of it, which a lot of places stopped therapies because of COVID. So luckily Moffitt was open so I could go and get the things done I needed to get, like chemo and surgery and stuff. because when things lock
really
down,
something.
you don't necessarily get your doctors and nurses going to take care of you. You don't. Maybe they'll be gone too.
It's interesting thinking about that. You think about that. You think, well, all the people that had COVID. You think, we were talking a little bit beforehand. 1 million Americans died of COVID. And the other thing we don't talk about is how many other people died because of denial of services, because they couldn't get services. I mean, I've never heard anybody actually come out with a statistic on that, but I'm sure that there were, collateral damage, so to speak. I'm sure there was, countless thousands that died because they just couldn't see their doctor or continue on their recovery plan. It's something that isn't really talked about either.
Dude, I got COVID over the holidays. I thought it was like I did not see that in my future, but yeah, my little nephew got COVID and he passed it to me, and then I passed it to my girlfriend.
You got it at Christmas, did you?
Yeah, like we went down to Los Angeles for like family get together, and I got it like on the way down there, and then like. So I didn't get to go to the family thing because my mom's got a compromised immune system, and there's a bunch of old people there, and I don't want to get people sick. So
I got it in September. Like, it pisses me off though, because I did everything freaking right all the time, and then you let your guard down. You're thinking, no, things are cool. Oh, we're waiting for the new shots, but the new shots didn't come till after I got COVID. Because I wanted the shot for this year's COVIDs, not from last year's COVIDs, and they didn't come till after. And man, it really F's you up. You feel like you're drowning in spit, and
I have never.
And it makes you lose your senses. It makes you lose your sense of smell. Like in
I never lost my sense of smell though, but that was no, I never did.
Not? Oh, good.
Yeah, I know a lot of people lost their sense of smell, and
I lost
the taste.
Took
a little bit. It took a little bit for it to come back too.
Because you lose your taste, you use your smell at the same time. It causes it. You can't breathe, you can't taste your food more than likely. But this was a long time. Took through the end of October to start kind of feeling better. And even now, I still get a cough.
Yeah. What they call it, long COVID?
Yeah. Did you ever get it?
No,
Patrick?
never did. No.
Thank goodness.
My mom has long COVID. She's still dealing with it. It's been like a few years.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have had that long COVID. It just gets in there and they just can't never get it out.
At least that's what it feels like. Or it's just like, oh, you had COVID, so now your lungs feel like shit forever. I worked hard not to get it all that time, but at least we didn't get the deadly one. We got the one that was like,
I think the thing that kills me about that is like people blame the vaccines for that shit. And it's like the vaccines had nothing to do with it.
See, is that what she's working on in the lab? Is trying to find a vaccine, or are they just?
Well, see, she's working as a scientist. That's her lab. They work on different different illnesses, and so when she comes into work, she's actually going to go ahead and she's actually confused why she's being called from her lab to a hospital. And then, the movie opens up with this as we see her with her sister giving her shit about smoking. And next thing you know, we see her head to work. And then her colleague says, you have to come with me. They have to go to the hospital. And then they see the gentleman there in Scotland, where they're based in. And he's been in there for 11 hours and he's got these symptoms. It's like he lost the sense of what did he lose? He lost the first guy lost the sense of taste, right? Or
smell.
Okay, so he lost his and she's like, okay, so why am I here? And then he just casually flips over and starts mentioning that there are several cases of this happening right now all over Europe. And the numbers are so low, though. Initially, you're thinking, wow, that's just not very many. You know, it's like 7 here, 8 here, 11 here. But all of a sudden, you start adding them all up, and the speed of the progression of it, and also now it's cause for alarm. And so, you know, it's like they were low key about it, but you could definitely sense that they were concerned.
Some sort of viral.
Right. They didn't know how it got was being passed either. It was like, how are people picking this up? You know, here they are, they're getting sick in England and France, and you know, and they're like, there's no connection. You know, that was probably the most alarming thing was there's no connection to these people at all. All of a sudden, it's just like they woke up and they were sick.
And the one guy was like he was phasing out in the middle of the sentence. He would be like, where am I? And we're at the doctor's office. He was like, hello.
Yeah. Well, I thought that the first patient though, you know, they're asking him some really, I was like, they're asking him some really weird questions, you know, and he's sitting there going like, I've been here 11 hours. How could I do anything? You know, it's like, did you know any of your friends that have this? No, I've been here 11 hours. I have no, you know.
They were kind of addicted too, because like he was like trying to talk to them and they had him just on mute and they were ignoring him. It's like at least leave the room.
He wanted to talk to his wife. He wanted to talk to his wife, and he's like, he wasn't until he got up there and was like, you know, they're just sitting to your right. They're just sitting ignoring him. I would have been livid. I would have been like, you know what? You open the door right now. Yeah, that was something else. How they didn't really, they sort of disregarded him.
Yeah, 100%.
So then we meet the other component in our movie, and that is the gentleman who is our hero, Mr. Ewan McGregor, who plays Michael, and he is a chef at a restaurant. And we see him, and we see his day that, you know, he wakes up. This was a little confusing to me, though. I think we see him, and he's in bed with a girl, and they make small talk, and then he rolls out and he goes to work. It took me a little bit to understand what was going on, because later on in the movie we see something happen, and it's sort of like, well, wait a minute, was this the girl that we saw in the beginning of the movie? And then it took me, it took a little bit to realize that it wasn't, but he was just trying to fill the hole. Michael works as a chef at a restaurant. We see, like I said, we see him wake up with a girl
making some cool looking stuff too.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
You know, and they did it right too. That was the thing. I mean, watching a kitchen like that, you know, it's like you watch like a series called The Bear, and they're always yelling in the kitchen. You know, Hollywood always portrays kitchens as a bunch of yelling. And I've been around a couple of kitchens. It's just like ER, you know, like you watch an ER and it's like it's action wall to wall, and it's like, not really. You know, it's like, you know, you get waited on when you get waited on. You know, there's no dramatics or anything else. There are people just waiting their turn to be seen. You know, they rank your visit based on your injury. You know, it's not anything like ER or, you know, or like that. It's just like, it's cool and calm and collected.
It should be.
And the rest, and the kitchen is too. I mean, have you guys you've probably been to a few restaurants in the Bay Area. I mean, have you ever noticed that? You ever notice that you know, like you never hear yelling and sitting down and out and eating.
You shouldn't.
I think
it's that way.
I mean, it's like anything. That's going to depend on the environment. Some places are more chaotic than others, but I think they weren't exactly yelling in this movie. They were communicating.
Yeah. That's what I liked about the scene, was the fact that they weren't yelling like, you know, like stereotype Hollywood does. You know, they were just they're just cooks. They're chefs. They're making meals. They're serving their guests, and they're cool, calm, and collected. Sure, it's busy, but they expect that. That's what you want. You can't be sitting there going like, I didn't know this was going to happen. Well, then you're in the wrong business. And you're right. I mean, I like that they showed the cooking. Ian McGregor, he's cool. Like I said, it was interesting. It was an interesting scene. So we meet him, and he comes out of the rest. He comes out of he comes out of work, and
go smoke a joint, right, with the boys.
Right. When he first walks up there, he smokes a joint with one of his coworkers, and then afterwards he comes out, and then he sees Susan, and she's talking to her sister, and she's smoking, and so he yells up to her if he can have a cigarette.
Almost smoke.
Yeah, I want to, get a smoke, and she's like on the phone. And then she turns around, she throws him one, she grabs and throws the one at him. Like, I'm like, that's that could have hit the ground. I just thought it was a funny scene. I just thought it was a funny scene. And then he wants a light, and so she throws him a lighter, and so he's and she's still talking to her sister, and she's just sort of like, I don't think she really was attracted to that, what he's doing, but it was still sort of humorous. And afterwards,
her sister, I know her from Nobody.
Yeah, Connie Nielsen played her sister. That was an early role for her. Yeah, that was an early role for her.
Was that before Gladiator?
I believe. I want to say yes.
Let me see.
I thought her first role was actually. I thought her first big role was in Devil's Advocate.
Oh, was she in Devil?
So I think she might have got cast after she did Devil's Advocate. But we see Michael downstairs. He's smoking, and then he throws back the lighter. I thought this was a really cool scene, and I bet you she did it too. I bet you they threw it from the ground up to her second story, and it shows her grabbing it out of the midair. I think she did that shit for real. I don't think that was a setup. I think she did that.
Gladiators in 2000.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Is Gladiator that old?
Right?
God.
I mean, Devil's Advocate's the 90s, dude.
I know. That's what I mean. I think that's where she got her first big role in, was Devil's Advocate.
Gladiator 2 is different.
Yeah. Oh, Wonder Woman. Okay, Wonder Woman.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, yeah, I knew that.
3 Days to Kill. She's in a lot of stuff.
She did a really one clever ass movie called Basic with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson.
I see that.
That movie's a banger. That movie's a banger. Yeah, that was an awesome movie.
And Mission to Mars. I think I remember that one.
Oh yeah.
She got like a short haircut.
Yeah, and that was Gary Sinise.
It's like Gary Sinise, right? Yeah.
She's done it, and she also played on TV over here. She did an arc on Law and Order. That was pretty good. Law and Order SVU. That was pretty good.
SVU, not SUV.
Special. Yeah, SVU. I know. I get confused with that
car.
Shit.
It's a special car unit.
Well, so I guess she was pretty much slumming in this movie. That's a small independent movie.
Yeah.
So
some quick bucks, some quick money.
So Susan catches her lighter, and then and then they continue to go on their way. And the thing too is Susan's also our narrator. She is also our narrator in this movie.
That's one thing I had a problem with, was her being the narrator, because I couldn't hear her very well. The music was kind of louder than her narrating. I don't know, maybe it's my sound on my TV. but
I
had
didn't
a
have
hard
that.
time.
Okay, I thought maybe because she has no accent. Like when you hear her speak, she has no accent, and she's French. So I think that was really impressive. I always thought she was English. I didn't know she was French until I read her background.
I think my smart
Yeah.
sounds not so smart.
Oh,
It gets too loud.
so I mean, what did you guys think of her the first meeting? I mean, I mean, again, it's like this comes across almost like more of a comedy drama because it was really cute how they met. It's not, it's like a little serious, but not too much at this point. And then, at this point, I mean, what did you think of the first scene between the two leads?
Yeah. By the cover, there's going to be something happening.
What?
The fireworks will be happening soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think our first sort of impression of him is that he's kind of an asshole, got a little bit of a douche because he's like, he meets some girl and then takes her home and then kicks her out basically because he can't sleep with someone else in the bed. But so we don't like, I think when he's sort of flirting with her, we don't like, we're not invested thinking that he's like a super sweet guy or anything. And she's almost pretty indifferent as well. So
they're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I just watched it unfold, basically.
Right. You're sitting there waiting for it too. You're waiting for like, okay, we see each other. We see our main couple. We see that he's a chef, in his kitchen, his friends and whatnot, and Susan with her sister, and then it takes. You're right. I think the pacing was fine for me because it was subtle. It wasn't announced with heavy-handedness or big boomy music score. It was just like, next thing you know, it's like, and our taste, and it was really weird was how it happened, and that was with someone would get extremely emotional, and they start crying uncontrollably.
Yeah, I thought was the outside world's first thing to it. Was it their smell and taste, or was it they just started crying?
They started crying first. That was like, and then as soon as it happened, then as soon as they had an emotional breakdown, then they would advance. Then you lose one of your senses. And and if that does happen to Michael and Susan, they're out, and next thing you know, Susan just loses it.
Yeah, she starts crying.
Yeah,
he starts crying. Like he's trying to help her, but it hits him like a brick too. Which did he get it from her? You think?
That's the thing. It never established how it passed to person.
It was so close when they started crying almost though.
I felt like,
but
in the beginning,
restaurant.
In the beginning of the movie, my understanding was that when they were first talking about the initial cases was that it wasn't contagious.
Yeah.
Right.
So like then it's just like that was how I was viewing the movie. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's what I recall.
No.
And then
you're right.
So then like it's just like this spontaneous thing that's happening to all of mankind or whatever. But like, so this moment is just like, maybe it's not like a contagious like disease, but it's like an empathic response that then leads to it or something, because he basically, like, she's breaking down and then he basically breaks down.
What, like hearing somebody yawn?
Well, yeah,
yawn.
and someone like, you feel like, see someone in a lot of like pain, and so you sort of feel that their pain, and then that's sort of like was enough to kick it off for him or whatever. I don't know.
I think what's really interesting is the fact that if you go back to the first patient, like he had his breakdown too, and they brought him to hospital. And then, and I'm surprised that Susan didn't pick that up. You know, like when it happened to her, she didn't have that reaction as to like, okay, I'm, you know, her reaction was she didn't know what was happening to her. I think if she had had an idea, you know, the first thing you do is like when you get sick, is you sit there and go like, I don't want to be around another person. I don't want to get that person sick. You know, you immediately distance yourself away from anybody else. And here she is, she's crying, and I don't think she understood exactly how this disease was working until it was happening to her for the first time, because she stayed, you know, she basically told Michael to come, you know, like Michael took her to her apartment, and you know, and you know, instead of her going like, holy shit, you know, I'm sick, you got to get away from me, you know, she didn't realize just exactly what all that crying, you know, like for one thing, you're like, why am I suddenly crying out of the blue like this for no reason?
But I think so it almost doesn't really like matter that she knows that there's a disease that causes that like super duper sense of sadness, and you know, or whatever, because she's just feeling that feeling, and that's like trumping everything else, like, you know.
Right.
But also like she's studying this disease, and that she's established with her coworkers that it's not contagious. So, you know, at that point, like maybe she's not concerned about passing it on to anyone else.
Well, if she didn't, then later on that night when Michael loses his shit, that's probably what I would probably be thinking, like, yeah, maybe I've been wrong about my first diagnosis on this, because you know, here he is sick, you know, and of course they both lose their sense of smell. You know, and but at the same time, it's like it happens to him, but there's no really, you know, like when you get a cold, or we're talking about COVID, and you have symptoms like when you know, I feel like I was full of spit. And that's one thing, is like it was really made this insidious, was the fact that you lost your sense of smell, but physically you're fine. I mean, you're not running a fever, you're not
You'll
coughing,
live. Right.
You're right. It's like it's subtle, it's insidious that way, and the narration points that out too. Like, okay, this happened, but life goes on.
Yeah, I remember I just keep saying that life goes on.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, I mean, I'm just thinking, going like, you know, if I lost my sense of smell forever, I'm not so sure I'd be so, you know, life goes on. I'd be more like, how do I get it back?
But you know, they also don't say that it's forever. And in fact, they discuss it, and he's like,
right, you're right.
Uh-oh. What
Uh-oh.
What happened?
I hope that
dang. It's coming. Here we go. There he is. It froze.
Oh,
you froze for a bit. You look like you were gonna sneeze real hard. So
yeah,
like,
I thought maybe you lost your sense of smell.
Yeah, and you had to sneeze it out. Rage.
So yeah, it's just interesting to see her reaction to that. And of course, you know, when Michael loses his shit, you know, she turns around, comforts him, and then they wake up the next morning, and they both have they're both no sense of smell. And then, you know, the narration comes on, mentions it, and then, you know, you see, and they mention that life goes on. And so you see all the adjustments. And what's really interesting is seeing how they use, most of the time in these movies, they use a hospital or a lab as a way to progress, you know, show you the progress of the disease. Here, what I thought was really interesting is they used a restaurant as that, you know, as that stage. Like everything you can see was going on at the restaurant.
It, like when they didn't have their taste. And they're like, ugh.
Right.
So he had to redo the menu. Yeah, the crunchy. I'm getting them.
Uh-oh.
They're like crunchy, and to make like crunchy food and like different textures instead of what was tasty.
So, and then
Right?
what
Isn't
was
that what he was
okay?
doing? I think
I'm
so.
trying to figure out. I'm trying to remember what triggered the. Okay, smell went down, and then I'm trying to
Because
figure
it
out.
usually goes right with it, though. The smell and the taste is usually boom, boom.
Okay, and so then I'm trying to figure out what
The taste was like
smell went first, right? Smell went first,
yeah.
and then
Taste was like
then it was,
taste was like an insatiable hunger that struck, and then you lose your
right,
sense of taste. So it
right,
wasn't.
gluttony. Oh my god, that scene was
Oh,
off the
yeah.
chain.
Holy crap.
Wow.
We were like, Jesus, look at them. They're eating everything.
Oh,
Live animals
everything.
weren't safe.
No, that was see. That's when to me it's like okay. That's when this movie went from like they meet cute, okay, a little, But once
Rom-com.
they hit that, all of a sudden it just flipped over. It all of a sudden became a full-fledged horror film. It's like holy shit, It's like
Like,
what the
oh, is that
hell?
a live pig walking by? Well, I'm just gonna eat it.
Exactly. I mean, and then I mean, it was her. The people that were just oh
I
my
don't think it was
god, it was
just
hurting to
like
death.
food. They were eating everything. They were eating
They were
anything. Soap.
yeah,
Weren't they eating
yeah.
soap
The
or
guy drinking
something?
the guy drinking olive oil. He
Oh,
just was chugging the olive oil. I was like, oh, or the cooking oil, or whatever that was.
my son was like, "Oh, he's gonna die."
Mm-hmm.
Just from the
Yeah.
oil alone.
So
He's
everybody,
done.
and the thing that it was it happened in layers too. It's like it wasn't like let's just say that Edinburgh, a couple 100,000 people. It didn't happen all at once to all 200,000 people. It was just a subtle. It was happening at its own pace, but it was going to happen. And there's no one can come up with any sort of idea to how to stop it or even slow it down. I mean, you didn't hear anybody. They're still working at it. They still show Susan in her lab. Um, well, the lab was sort of thrashed after that, but they still working at it to slow it down. But it was not everybody got it all at once, and I think that added to the dread, like it's going to keep happening over and over. And so after that gluttony, that's when they lost. That's when they lost they lost their sense of taste. So now you have no more smelling, you have no more taste.
No more.
Now, I don't know about you, I don't know about you guys, but the fact that they were able to still keep the restaurant open was a minor miracle. It's like if I can't taste it or smell it, why am I going to eat it?
I think eventually they did shut it down. Was it after they trashed it?
After they trashed it, it's like
they clean it up and life goes on, but
right, because they're not because there's no other thing. The only thing you're still healthy, you're still okay. You just lost your one of your sensories. That's it. I mean, there's no flu, there's no diarrhea, there's no throwing up.
Yeah, you work in a restaurant, so good luck tasting whatever you're feeding.
Yeah, but everyone went there because that's like human behavior. You ask people out for it's like it's what people do. They have meals with each other. They go out and they change their meal to be more like visual and textural. And that's like remember he reads like the review, and the review is like just about the colors and the texture and like the heat, the temperature. It was all that rather than how it tasted, which was kind of interesting, I thought.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was pretty cool. He was thinking.
And you see people, I think the fact that nobody got like sick was what really, again, it's like that's what really is interesting. It's like they have some sort of emotional outbreak, and then they lose their sense, whatever sense it was.
Well, that one guy, he did his family in.
Which
She
one?
went, right? Didn't he get the family? Or no?
What do you mean?
The guy that raged, the guy that didn't he rage out against his family?
The first guy, you mean?
Yeah, the one that was in the doctor's office. I thought there was a guy
Yeah,
in the
but
doctor's
they
office.
they got him to the hospital. His wife was out there waiting for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he didn't hurt anybody. They just
That's
brought
good.
him in because he. But then
Yeah,
we
'cause
do
some of
see
those ragers. Whoa.
Oh yeah, some of the ragers definitely. But we don't really see any. It's funny about that scene too, where they're raging, is the fact that I guess it is interesting that the fact that you don't see anybody get killed, because I think if you had, I think the reception would have been different. We would have seen like I mean, we did see some police and military, but they were just there to help out. They, they went to the restaurant and they told them to stay open so they could help feed the people that were being told to stay within their house. If you're affected, stay in the house. So,
Yes.
but there wasn't like martial law or anything like that. I mean, they show panic around the world, but in our area, in our movie, we didn't see anybody like die. I didn't see anybody, like get beaten up or whatnot. It's just they yelled at each other, they raced at each other, but I don't think that lasted very long before, because when Michael went crazy on Susan, he barked at her, and then he barked, and then she left, and he didn't chase after her. He just sat right there and just like
Broke his house up.
And then we saw when she got that the next step, she just stayed at her lab. She just yelled and screamed, but she didn't like destroy the lab. At least her lab, though we do know that happened. So far we lost our smell, our taste.
Yeah.
And so now the next one goes on, they're adjusting again. So
yep,
next
life is going on.
Right. Life is the next thing that goes. And this is when we're talking about here, the rage. The rage would happen, everybody be barking at each other, and then next thing you know is their hearing goes. Now I don't know about you, but I think at this time, if I lost my hearing and my taste and my smell, I don't know about you guys, but I would start thinking about, On the Beach. This is a very interesting movie. I want to talk a little bit about that because a lot of this movie brought me to that movie. I don't know, if I lost 3 of the 5, I would be very concerned, especially since there's no cure going on, there's no vaccination going on, and there's nothing going on to
at
stop
that time.
this.
You never know.
I think I would have definitely put in a plan, like a contingency plan. Like, okay, if this, if I lost my hearing, I lost my taste, I lost my smell, that the other 2 are probably going to be chasing after it. So I want to make sure, like, I'm in a place, again, like in your home, like you just want to be able to be in a comfort place.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, you want to make sure like that really does happen to you, like it does. You have a way out.
Want a train station nearby?
not that kind of out. I'll talk about that in a second. So we do see that and it's interesting too how like how it sort of alternated, like who got Susan got ill first, then Michael, and then Michael, and then Susan, and now Susan and Michael. And never once did they ever really look at each other like, I don't know why. I just kept on thinking, like, wouldn't they figure out that maybe they're contagious? I mean, it's just a natural reaction. I'm thinking, okay, I know they're saying it's not contagious, but since it's happening, I'm not so sure people would just sit there and just take that for granted, like what you're being told.
Well,
it could be like what Ben was saying. It could just be something that happens to you. No, you never know. It could just happen to you. and
Also-
not be contagious.
Also, at the point where there's the rage happening, people are wearing masks now, and they are quarantining, and they have like official people wearing like full hazmat, like breathing apparatuses and whatnot. So at some point, you know, they are treating it as a contagious thing, even if it is or isn't. You know, they're still trying to contain it in some way.
Right. Let me take a minute here to acknowledge Jen from Jen's Reviews of the Grave. Horror Tuber of the Month, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, how about that?
congrats.
Congratulations, Jen, for taking Horror Tuber of the Month.
Congrats.
And super happy for her, rebuilding her channel, and I think it's awesome. So yeah, congratulations. We need to get Jen on here. You know, we need to get Jen on here. We should, you know what? Now we got her here. We should just put her on the spot. Okay, so
You're kidnapping her
Jen,
now.
so we should invite Jen to come on next month, or later on this month. We'll interrupt our flow here for to what movie are we watching next month, Mary?
The Midnight Man.
So the Midnight Man featuring Robert Englund will be our movie, and that will be on February 22nd. And if you would like to if you would like to come in and hang out with us, you definitely could, Jen.
22nd.
Jen has done some IFC films. Definitely. Hi, Jerry. How are you, sir? So if that's something you like to do, Jen, we'd love to have you. That's just, well, I'll have to find her I'll have to find her on Facebook so I could.
I'm connected to her on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot.
You can offer her the February 22nd, and she could be our guest. She could be a guest.
Be our guest.
Yeah, a guest. All right. Well, for the Midnight Man, that's a hell of a movie to be a guest star on, because that's a great movie.
Is it?
I just
Googled it. It's got 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, is that an excellent movie? I haven't seen it.
You know what though? When do we ever go by Rotten Tomatoes? When do we ever go by Rotten Tomatoes?
I mean, Melania's got like 7%. I believe that. The Melania.
Oh my God! Did she actually get that high? I'm shocked at that. I'm shocked that she got 7%.
It's wild. It's like the critics are at 7%, and then the audience is like 99% or something. It's like clearly just like I was reading the reviews. It just felt like a million bots, or you know, it was wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
it says here, Jen says, that is so kind, and thank you. Anytime you guys would like to have me up, I'd be more happy to join you guys. That sounds like an IFC Midnighter to me. I don't know about you two, but I'm down with
It's a fun movie. It's not like it's like 9.5.
No.
You know, it's a fun movie.
Fun. It definitely is.
Oh.
Lynn Shay is sassy in that movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh shit! It's like, do you remember the Insidious movies? Was it Insidious? Yeah. Remember how nice she was in that?
Was she in the Insidious?
Yeah, she was in Insidious movies. Remember how nice she was in that movie?
Oh yeah, well, that's right. She would pay him a visit and shit. Yeah, she's not.
Yeah, we could talk. You could toss that with the Midnight Man.
She's not a nice Nana.
She's
no.
She's a pistol. Yeah, okay. Well, there we go. So yeah. That'll be awesome. All right. So talking about a movie, booking a show. I mean, what more can we do here? All right, so now we lost 3 senses. The restaurant's still open. I don't know how the hell it's still remains open, but it's still open. And then of course then we see, and everybody's adjusting to the illness, and it doesn't really tell you how long it takes. Like it didn't say well, 6 months after this happened, then this happened. Just
yeah, it doesn't give you a span on it. At least I didn't see.
So so the hearing was really tough. I mean, because I felt really bad, because here they are, Michael and Susan's inside of her apartment, and talking, and all of a sudden he turns around and he lights her up like Christmas. And not only does he do that, but he destroys her place. And you just can't help but really feel bad about that. And and Susan reacts to that, and of course when Michael, after he calms down and he gets up, he realizes that his hearing's gone. And the scene of him just on silence, just screaming and soundlessly, was, that was like, holy crap.
And him trying to deal with work, like people having to tap him on the shoulder, because not everybody's having the deafness.
Not yet, yeah. It just progressed. He does reach out to Susan, who's now basically back at her lab full time, and she doesn't want to talk to him. She tosses the phone. And no, because that's devastating. And but sooner than later, all of a sudden, that happens to her. She's at her lab. She starts raging, and soon enough, she loses her hearing. And but they're apart. They're definitely apart. So people are trying to, they're struggling to adjust yet again, to that. And you think that Michael and Susan would come together, but Susan's sort of staying away from it, because that was rough. And then all of a sudden, then we get then we find the last sense. It is they lose, and that happens after rage equaled hearing, but now it's joy. Everybody's experiencing euphoria. They're experiencing joyfulness. I mean, they're hugging each other. They're talking to each other. They're just, but then they lose the last sense. They lose vision. Wow.
Yeah, but that end part was like, Jesus, he's yelling out, and she went into the restaurant looking for him, and the ending was like,
at this time, when they lost their vision, at this time, I mean, you already like, okay, I know how they started this movie, but Jesus Christ, this is like the ultimate nightmare. And this is where I come in with On the Beach. Have either one of you heard of that movie?
No.
So On the Beach came out in the 1960s, and it portrayed the end of the world through nuclear war. And so there's people down in Australia. They're living in Australia, and the radiation was going around the planet, and it was just killing everybody, radiation. And so people were living in Australia, and it was like the last place on Earth, but the radiation was coming down to them. It's coming. So all the survivors, what they were doing, they were trying to live as much life as they possibly could, because they knew they were going to die. Some people raced cars. Some people, they did all sorts of things, but they all knew that they were going to die. And one of the things that what really struck me was this couple that was in love was Eva Gardner, and I forget who the other guy was. Maybe Cary Grant. Well, they knew what was going to happen. They didn't want to suffer, so they made plans to have a nice picnic, enjoy this last sunset, and then together. And I just thinking to myself, when I was watching Perfect Sense, I'm going like, that would probably be the time where I would be thinking On the Beach. because
somebody else is going to be doing your thinking because you don't know where you are or nothing. You're done.
no, and think about this too. So here, you're right. We see Michael and Susan. People are losing their vision. They still have it, but they go out there and look for each other, right? They're going out there looking for each other. He drives to her house. He drives to a restaurant, this and that, and they finally meet up in the middle of the street, and their vision is going in the middle of the street.
Yep, it's fading out.
They barely have enough time to grab each other in the middle of the street. They're out. I was just sitting there going like, that would be
really.
a horrible way to die.
Fine. Yeah.
Horrible way to die. You couldn't express yourself. I mean, Lord help you if you lost contact with your partner.
And who's to say you're going to have that feeling of touch?
Right.
That's another sense.
I'm sitting. The first time I saw this movie, I was just blown away by the ending. Blown away. I was sitting there going, that's so fucked up. What a
man, that was horrible... pretty much the whole family said, "Damn, that movie was crazy."
Yeah. I don't know how the director, Mackenzie, I don't know how, David Mackenzie, he's a fine director, and the movie is written by Kim Atkinson, but that ending. So what did you guys think about it? I mean, what did you guys think about the ending?
I like the ending. I like that they found each other. That's what I was like, oh my God, just get to each other at least.
I think I mean, by the time the ending happened already, like the writing was on the wall for me. Like I was already thinking like, okay, obviously they're going to lose sight and touch at some point.
Yes.
For me, like sound was probably like if I lost my smell, my taste, my vision, but I could hear, I'd probably be much happier than if I could not hear and I could just see.
I think if you just catch your hearing,
as a musician, you definitely want your ears.
Well, but if you think about it though, if you had your hearing and everybody else had lost everything else, the only thing you're going to be hearing are people screaming. That's all you would hear. You wouldn't hear anything else.
No, I do my guitar in my singing.
Oh yeah.
And I keep
they will bring me peace.
I keep myself entertained. Though, I guess if I lost my sense of sound or hearing, then I would probably draw or make stuff, to keep being bored or whatever. So I guess there's that.
That's what I do.
But I just think like communication through voice is so much easier for me than like typing or writing. So like, losing your sense of like hearing would be so isolating for me.
Sorry.
Would you? But I guess the question I would ask is like, would you still want to be here, in knowing that you could end up like Michael and Susan at the end? I wouldn't. I
mean, I think by the time I lost my sense of taste, I would be like really savoring every moment of every other sense I had, So I would stay basically alive.
I want to help. I want to help out.
Until I lost.
I don't know how that would happen when everybody else is going to be. I mean, everybody else is going to experience what you're experiencing. It just hasn't happened to them yet, but it is going to happen. I mean, pretty soon it's just going to be exactly that. I mean, there's not going to be, there's not going to be a super secret team down in the bunker coming up with a cure, because they don't even know how. They couldn't even identify it. They couldn't, and nobody knows how it happened. I mean, the progression of the movie shows that, because things keep on happening to people. It wasn't like suddenly, okay, well, damn it, we lost vision, but we managed to restore taste, so we're on the right track here. They didn't have a clue.
Yeah, nobody went and regained anything back, right?
See, Jen's saying, I'm with Ben on this one. I can't play a musical instrument, and people have paid me not to sing, but I would have my iPod with me. But the thing is, though, it's like you would have. I mean, as long as you had one, I guess you could say if you could have one sense, but I mean, the one sense I would want to have more than any, if I had to say one, definitely would be vision. That's the one I would keep. I would everything else I could handle, I could adjust to, but I have to have my sight, because otherwise you're dying. You're dying. I mean, you can sit there and play your guitar all you want, but pretty soon you're going to have to go out there. And how are you going to eat? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? I mean, even if you can't taste it, you still got to eat it to maintain, to live.
Yeah, that's what they were sending them, those little Meals on Wheels, like
those are gone
or something.
Those are all gone because all those people are sick. All those people are now, and yeah. So I mean, to me, that's what I'm saying. I would, if after the third of my senses, I would be planning an exit, because I would not want to be there like Michael and Susan were in the middle of the damn road and not be able to, it's not romantic. It's tragic. It's absolutely positively hideous, the way to die. I mean, it rains. It's cold at night. I mean, where are you going to go? How do you even, all you're doing is slapping at each other. Like you can't even tell the other person, like, okay, let's crawl to this area. Let's go to this area. Let's go to my car. You can't even do that because the other person can't see or hear or feel you. It's just like, wow. It's just a really.
You're just existing.
Yeah.
You are a sponge.
I guess it would be like a survivor after a nuclear war. I mean, you're still alive, but you're dying. You're not gonna escape it. Let's see. Jen says, you make a very good, valid point, Patrick, and I get what you say, but music is a kind of food for the soul. Yes, if one can hear it.
No, that's what, yeah, but that we're still talking about, like, if you can have the one sense you're saying, I want vision.
Yeah. Oh, she wants the hearing.
You want the hearing.
She wants the hearing.
I would want sight. I would take sight.
I think I would take sight too.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on if everyone else is. I mean, it depends on like how well prepped my doomsday bunker is at this point. I don't have one. I might have started the second I lost my sense of taste,
Because now we can watch all the movies we have in our collections for.
Like, yeah, it's sort of like a Burgess Meredith in Twilight Zone. He plays the librarian. And they have right.
He can read all the books he wants.
Yeah, and he breaks his glasses. And it's just like, oh man, that's just it's like, oh, that's so messed up. That's so messed up.
Yeah, because wasn't his wife kept taking his books every time she'd catch him reading something, she'd take it.
Right. And then
finally,
and then he survives the atomic bomb or whatever that happened, and comes out there, grabs all those books. He was a book of the Library of Congress or some shit like that, and he's got all these books up, and then all of a sudden it's like he breaks his glasses, and he goes, "It's not fair. It's not fair." And he has basically no vision. He's just like he's so he's so nearsighted. Yeah, that'd be terrible too. That would suck. But I don't know. I like I said, I thought this movie went from, I mean, based on the cover of the movie and the ending of this movie, is this safe to say that it's the biggest misrepresentation of a movie other than that cover?
I mean, I didn't see the cover because I just watched it online.
Okay.
So I guess it didn't really factor in for me. But I mean, the cover is representative of the film. There is that romance.
Yes, definitely.
I
don't think anybody who watched this movie based on that cover would be ready for the ending.
No, it's nothing like what you would think.
No. I mean, you grab this off the shelf of Blockbuster, you're going home going like, oh, all right, we're going to keep the romance. and Eva Green's going to be showing off the goodies and all that good jazz.
And you see a lightsaber.
And the lightsaber.
You see a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's right. You see Obi-Wan's lightsaber. I mean, you're thinking, man, I'm in for a night of entertainment. And all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, we find them both in the middle of the road, with the world falling apart around them, and they're just together. I mean, I guess that's one good thing. I mean, they're but I don't know. The ending's just chilling to me. And it's definitely one of the best endings I've seen in a horror movie in a long time. I mean, I look at this movie as a horror movie. I don't look at it as science fiction. I don't look at it as, I just look at it as just pure horror. To go out like that would just be something that you wouldn't, it'd just be a nightmare. All right. I guess we'll go around and share our final thoughts. I feel like I really overtalked this episode, so I'm going to shut up and let you guys talk about what you guys thought about this movie.
It's very sad. I was kind of bummed out at the end. Made me very sad. I had to watch a comedy afterwards. But it was still a good movie and great acting. And the story is terrifying for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely have to get your comedy in afterwards. Like, god damn. It's too scary to thought. So it could happen.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I thought it was thought-provoking on a couple fronts, like we discussed, as far as like surviving a pandemic and sort of like living through it in that sense. And then like, yeah, just thinking about like, you know, how we experience the world through our senses and like what happens if that's taken away.
When you don't realize, you know, you just take them for granted, tasting stuff and I don't know, smelling smells. And to have those disappear be, I don't know. Smells be awful to be rid of too. No more flowers, no perfumes.
Yeah.
I could do without the perfumes personally.
Well, you know, from the flowers, not. Yeah, I don't like perfumes too much. It's just a headache.
Yeah. Though I will say the right perfume though, you know, there's a reason why people wear perfume, and
it's got to be vanilla.
Yeah,
vanilla's probably top, and it's not like God. It's more like you smell like cookies. So vanilla is always a winner for ladies.
I personally, you know, perfumes for me, like I would rather not smell like some fake odor.
Yeah, you want to be clean. Smell clean.
Yeah, or just smell like you, like how, you know, people's houses smell different. Just smell the way you smell.
I see pheromone.
I don't want to smell like weird, like flower shit. That's all synthetic. Personally, it's just me personally. I walked by like these like this group of women the other day, and it was just like this fucking like sickly
slap in the face by each one of them as they went by.
I was like, oh.
Well, they make perfumes like you just want to have like a light scent, but you got to take your perfume bottle, go outside, spray it, run through it halfway just to try to get it a little bit on you because they make them so strong.
Yeah.
I guess they want them to last all day. And then, what's that smell? Oh, that's Elizabeth. She was in here earlier. That's a lovely scent.
Too bad I got to smell for the next 4 days.
Yeah, too bad. It's giving me a migraine.
Though I admit though, some perfumes work really well. I mean, back in another life, I had someone I was seeing. She used to wear Obsession by Calvin Klein. Man, oh man, that smelled really good. That smelled really good. I was like, what do you smell? What do you got going on there? Obsession.
He's obsessed. Obsession.
I'm like,
from the commercial.
Yeah.
Obsession.
I could believe it. It smelled really good. I was like,
the commercial was fun. I think it was black and white. I got a few movies from the thrift store. I showed you Dark Fields. Have you ever seen this before?
No,
Because
is that
I've never.
IFC?
It's a Lionsgate.
Oh,
I'm sure one day we will get into Lionsgate because I haven't been looking. I was like, good Lord, I got a lot of Lionsgate movies. I bet you guys do too.
got a few. Ben, before we talk about the next movie or wrap this one up, how's our boy doing? Are you still working on him?
He's been sitting over at like my old place of business where I still go all the time to like make stuff, but like he's been sitting in a box, you know, like basically like all my projects just sort of like got paused, and I haven't really picked stuff up again.
How's your shoulder?
It's pretty good. I think I got like another surgery coming up to remove all the hardware because like I ride into work every day and I wear a backpack and it like.
Ooh, do you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think because it's just like it's so close to the skin, it's just like all bumpy and like I get weird pressure points there and shit. So
right.
It's
like we're in a port.
Yeah, I may have like a surgery coming up here in a few weeks or something to have that shit removed. But it'll be an easier recovery than the last one.
Sure.
Good.
I gotta say, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so fucking proud of you because I'll be honest with you, man. I was scared for you, you know, with that injury. I was scared for you, and I'm going like, man, he's just kicking his ass. The only thing you took was what, Motrin, right?
Well, I took the pain meds they gave me like when like I was like I just had like this fucking like broken ass clavicle for like a week or two, you know? Like and like anytime you move, it's just like moving like it was pretty bad. So I got off the pain meds like as quick as possible though. Because I know like I don't want to be addicted to fucking bits, you know.
No. I was, you know, I definitely, and not embarrassed to say this, I definitely prayed for you, man. I was like, man, such a bad injury to have, and you know, and I know they, you know, the first thing they want to do is pump your ass up with the meds, and it's like, that's, you know, I know that how you felt about that, and but man, I'm proud of you though, man. You came through.
They gave me fentanyl in the ambulance.
Isn't that something? You know, they did that to my wife. They gave that to Lorianne too, and they didn't tell me this. They didn't tell me, and it was weird because like they because she tripped here at the house, and she fell down, and I had to come and get her, and I had to you know, I had to go and take her to the ER. And I pushed her in the ER, and they had her there for a while, and then she came back out. And I went to grab her, and I turned around, and I noticed there was this patch on her back. And we were like, "What is this? What is this?" And I called one of the nurses over. I said, "What is this?" And they said,
"She's not trying to quit smoking."
She said, "Yeah, it's a fentanyl patch." I said, "And who okayed that?" I know my wife certainly didn't. My wife, when she, you know, she didn't want any drugs. Even in her last month, she didn't want any pain meds. But and I remember I tell the nurses, who authorized that, because I sure as hell didn't. And I was getting hot because I was really pissed off at that, because I knew that's not what she wanted, and no one came out and asked me they tell me what they were doing, how they were treating her. And I said, I want that removed. And she said the same thing. Says, I don't want that on my back. Please take it off. Well, we might be hurting. I understand that, but she doesn't want it, and neither do I. I know what she wants. So, but yeah, they gave her fentanyl without permission. It was only like one of the two or three things that I really didn't like about my experience with the University of Michigan. But overall, they're outstanding. But still, you don't put you can't put a narcotic like that on somebody without telling somebody what you're doing. You just can't do that. Oh, I was pissed off. Probably scared too, you know, honestly, but I was still really pissed. And she didn't want it on there. Yeah. She didn't want it. seriously, she said she, like she didn't. Like I had an emergency kit here. They give you an emergency pain kit,
Yeah.
and with morphine.
With like a shot or something.
Right, and they told me, they showed me how to do it, and there are times I would sit there and I would see if she was really uncomfortable, and I would sit there and say, "Are you, I hurt? Okay, would you like to have the morphine?" And she would always say no. Says, "No, I don't want that. I don't want that," because she was scared of being addicted. Even though she really didn't have to worry about that.
Right.
That was her, yeah, that was her point of view. She didn't want it because of that. So I get it. But on a lighter note about a dystopian movie, end of the world movie, what would you rank Perfect Sense at on a scale of 1 to 10?
About 8. About an 8 because I like the filming. I like the whole idea of it's awesome. Scary, but the only thing I had a problem with was her narrating. For some reason, I couldn't catch her what she was saying. I don't know. I gotta fix my surround sound or smart sound on my TV.
Yeah, I was going to say I heard it perfectly fine. I was actually paying attention to that because you had mentioned before about having a hard time hearing it. When I watched it, I wanted to see if it was, I wanted to see if I had trouble hearing it too, and I did.
Right, just what I was streaming. I could have been streaming like a weird stream too. That's happened. At least I had some subtitles here and there too this time.
How about you, Ben?
I'd probably give it I liked the movie. I found it thought-provoking, like I said, but I also felt like there was some like flat spots where I wasn't fully engaged in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably give it like 7.5, maybe. It was a good movie, but also not like
7.5-ish. Yeah, 8-ish. It's mine too.
I would go with
7.5.
8 too. I'd go with 8. I go with an 8. I'd go 10 with the story.
I mean, the one we picked for the next one, it's not an 8, but it's for fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
There's a lot of shitty movies that I love. I mean, I'm not passing judgment. I love a lot of shitty movies.
Yeah, well, IFC does not do shitty movies, but
a few.
Hey, even Kindred had its bright spots. You can't, that's probably been actually the worst. I think the worst movie that we reviewed on here by far
was it Babadook.
No, we haven't done that yet.
I haven't seen it.
Also, that's an excellent film.
I haven't watched it yet.
I've been sort of nervous about that because of that little boy. I've been nervous about saying let's do Babadook because everybody else, it's probably the only IFC everybody knows about right off the bat.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I heard it's great. And Jennifer Kent ended up doing another great movie that Mary's not too fond of, but it's a great movie, and that's Nightingale. Nightingale. We covered that. But Welcome to Willits. Oh man,
I didn't watch that one, but that's right. You said that one's.
It wasn't great.
No, it wasn't great at all. No,
that's a shame.
That movie was like.
Well, the actors still worked hard on it.
Yeah.
But
Dan mentioned
the story was bad.
The Babadook is amazing. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Whoever wants to pull the trigger on the Babadook, I mean, Ben, it will be your turn after Mary.
I have the Babadook. I have the Babadook.
Do you have the Babadook?
I have the pop-up book from that movie. It's like a replica book. It's right.
I do have the Babadook as well.
I do not have the Babadook, but I can find it.
I do. Sure. Guys, I got to get going though because I got to get to the store before it closes.
Get to your store because it's your day to shop.
I know.
No problem. We'll go ahead and just end the stream right here and thank everybody in the chat for coming out. And I hope you enjoyed our coverage of Perfect Sense. And we'll be back here February 22nd with a full crew, including our good friend Jen from Jen Reviews from the Graves. She'll be here for The Midnight Man, starring Robert England and Lynn Shay. All right. Thanks for coming out, and we will see you guys on the 22nd. Peace.
Ben.
Yeah.